let's face it, there's an historical stigma associated with trying to get help for something you're under mentally that you're dealing with. And we're working really hard to lower that threshold, to lower that barrier, to make sure people know they can do that.
The Navy, desperate to get the message out to its sailors, help is available and there are no repercussions. At the same time, acknowledging other areas need to be addressed, like the workload.
Throughout my time in the Navy, we've added a lot of requirements, right? We have to, I think as a Navy, really examine what all of our requirements are and get rid of the ones that are extraneous.
On that issue of workload, I shared an email that came into our newsroom from a sailor sharing what he says life is like aboard the USS George Washington. He writes, when you talk to junior sailors in deck department about how much sleep they got, they will tell you maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Ask them if they got to eat at least, and they will say maybe something from the vending machine.
To specific examples of not having time to eat and not getting enough rest is contradictory to our policy, and it's something I'll take for action and look into. And I just would tell you and the listeners that we take this very seriously.
We also heard a very recent example that the Admiral wants to see across the board. This case involved a Marine colonel who happened to spot a sailor going through a crisis.
You just recognize something is off, and so I just went over there, was a little nosy, and that's when I came upon a sailor who was on top of the chairs there with 550 cord and a noose in his hand, ready to take his life. So immediately I said, hey, stud, do you need some help? And he said, no, I need you to leave. And I said, not today. I'm right where I need to be. But I wasn't leaving that day without getting to know him a little bit more and make sure that that sailor got the care that he needed.